What is procrastination? Procrastination, simply put, is the tendency to constantly postpone tasks, even important and urgent ones, which often leads to problems and emotional distress. This is the key difference between laziness and procrastination. Laziness is a lack of diligence or a preference for leisure over work. A lazy person, unlike a procrastinator, doesn't worry about undone tasks or unfulfilled obligations and doesn't plan to do them someday unless forced by circumstances. What is the empty list method? People familiar with planning know all about to-do lists. There are countless methods for creating them properly. What to include, how to combine current tasks with long-term goals, how to avoid missing anything while not cluttering the list with minor details. So what is an empty list? There are various interpretations. The first thing that comes to mind when hearing empty list is simply a blank sheet of paper. In other words, there is no to-do list to begin with. You start filling in the list as you complete tasks, and by the end of the day, you have a finished list of completed tasks. You then analyze it to see how much closer you've come to your goals. This resembles intuitive planning, a time and task management approach based on an internal sense of priorities and energy levels. It can be quite effective against procrastination because there's no pressure from the start, no obligations, and thus no guilt if something doesn't get done. Yet you're still accomplishing things, and the list of completed tasks at the end of the day proves it. However, intuitive planning has its nuances. To use it effectively, a high level of self-awareness is needed. Otherwise, you risk getting lost in a sea of minor tasks, staying busy without ever tackling what's truly important. There's another interpretation, essentially a separate method, called the empty inbox method. Inbox refers to the incoming messages in any email service, typically shown as a list. All the tasks and information we receive, anything requiring our attention or action, are our inbox. It's basically our task list. In this context, an empty inbox doesn't mean you have nothing to do. It means all your tasks are sorted and clearly defined. You know which ones require immediate action, which are just for reference, and which can and should be delegated and later monitored. Once all incoming items are clarified into specific actions, you won't need to wonder how to get started. You won't need a burst of inspiration just to take the first step. Precise wording that tells you exactly what needs to be done takes practice, but the idea is simple. Separate thinking from doing. And remember, thinking is not the same as keeping things in your head without writing them down. Every task should be clearly formulated, sorted, and recorded, by hand or digitally. So how do you apply the empty inbox method in practice? You now understand that an empty inbox doesn't mean the absence of tasks. It means the absence of unsorted tasks that cause indecision. The goal is to reduce the number of unclear and therefore unfulfilled thoughts and tasks in your mind to a minimum. This helps lower cognitive load, reduce anxiety, and boost productivity. Your objective is to quickly capture tasks and decide what to do with them. Do it now if it takes less than 2 minutes. Delegate it if possible. Break it into subtasks and add it to your plan. Whatever the case, new information shouldn't stay in your head. Record it in an external system. All of this will give you clarity and a clear sequence of actions, with tangible deadlines and measurable results. This greatly reduces the likelihood of procrastination.